So,
Mm.
Aaron, I hear a lot of people saying, right, you should transform yourself. Don't be a salesperson. Become an expert. Then it will become easier to sell. What's your thoughts on that? What's your take on that? I'm just curious to find out.
Well, that's a good question, and I think I absolutely agree with that, right?
Hmm.
Where if you're just a salesperson, you're
Hmm.
expendable. If you're just a
Hmm.
salesperson, people would say, you know what, you just sell me something and that's it, right? You're just an order
Hmm.
taker. Now, I would very
Hmm.
much agree to for any salesperson at all, for any people at all to become a master at what they do, become a master
Hmm.
and an expert, recognize an expert at what they sell, due to the fact that people always perceive experts as the one that they should listen to. Now, just imagine this:
Hmm.
having that perception of expert will even be much better than you becoming a normal salesperson. Look, if you walk down the street and two person approach you at different timeline, one is wearing a white t-shirt with jeans and sneakers, come up to you and say, hey, you know what, you look like you've got health problems, you should be going having a check at the doctor. All right,
Hmm.
you will say, hey, you are crazy, right? Then if compared to another person that walks down the street, he's in doctor's robe, he
Hmm.
has his that thing that covers the hair and everything, and a
Yep.
mask, and he walks down the street and say, hey, you know what, I think there might be something wrong with you, you should get a checkup really soon, and he walks away. Which
Hmm.
one would you have a impact on what action you're going to take later on?
Yeah. This is obviously the second one.
Exactly. So why? Because you perceive him as an expert, he knows what he's doing, and when he says something, you're more likely to be influenced by it, more likely to listen to him, right? And
Hmm.
that's why every salespeople should aim and aim and do all the work and activity and processes to position themselves as an expert.
Hmm.
Because a lot of people are doing things in such a way they are very shallow. Shallow meaning they are doing in such a way that they only understand the top part, the shallow part of whatever that they're selling. All right, the superficial part. But if you go deeper, if you go down to becoming an expert, you will be able then to be like a doctor, and a doctor is an expert in our eyes, right? So when you go to
Hmm.
the doctor, do you ever like ask them to discount the price for you?
Not if you want to save your life.
We're not talking about even saving your life. You have a fever right now. Would you go and ask the
Right.
doctor, hey, you know what? Hey, give me a discount on this fever medicine?
I mean, who goes to the clinic and says, what's the price first, before
No,
you
right?
see the doctor? No, right.
Exactly. Look,
Yeah.
the positioning of the doctor does that for him. And when
Hmm.
he trying to close you, did he even ask you to buy? No, right? Did he tell you the
No,
price of the medicine before asking you to go to counter and pay?
no. You just
Would
pay
you
whatever it
say
is.
would you say that you will eat all the medicines and follow the doctor's instructions?
100%.
Right? Most of the time you'll do that, right?
Hmm.
Have
Hmm.
you ever questioned what kind of medicine they give you? Or you go and check on the legitimacy of every single, whether it's legit or not, is the medicine is the right medicine, whether the nurse is giving you the right medicine that the doctor is prescribing. Have you ever checked it out, take a picture and go and search for it?
No.
I would say never. Most people never does it, right?
Hmm.
Why? Because we believe the expert, we trust the expert,
Hmm.
right? But the expert could make a mistake and give you a wrong medicine. The nurse could give you a wrong medicine and you could eat it and you could die from it. But yet you never question anything, isn't it?
Yeah.
Why do you think that happens? Because you're an expert. So when you
Mhm.
are in an expert position, that people recognize you as an expert, it doesn't mean that you have to get a degree, you have to get this. Like that. Come on, I'm a diploma holder. I'm a college dropout.
Mhm.
I didn't even have a degree, and yet people are still listening to me.
And your diploma is not even in sales.
No, it's in IT,
Yeah.
right? Now, it's because the way that we present ourselves, the way that I perceive myself as an expert as well, that I know my
Mhm.
stuff better than everybody else, right? That's an expert. I know my things better than everybody else.
Mhm.
Right? When you ask me a question, I'm prepared to answer it immediately without batting an eyelid. That is an
Mm.
expert because
Mm.
all the knowledge is at the back of your head,
Mm.
right? You know what is going on, right?
Mm.
You have control of the situation. That's an expert, right?
Yep.
So when that happens, it will help the sales for sure. And being an
mm,
expert, you can position yourself in such a way that you are not needy of the business. You have the power to do that. But if you're not an expert, you're just a salesperson, they're just trying to sell something,
mm,
get the transaction done, there is where you will get very tiring. There is where you'll get burnt out. There is where sometimes
mm,
you feel like quitting just
mm,
because you are being played by the customer because you're not an expert. You are being
mm,
used and you're
mm,
not being treated as a peer because your
mm,
self image was not an expert, because your self image is at a lower level than the customer. And that's why
mm,
being an expert is very, very important.
mm, absolutely.
Mm.
And I just want to share a story just to back up what you're saying
Yep.
is that a client I'm working with now, he actually interviewed 20 other marketing agencies.
Yep.
And when he had his meeting with me the second time, I told him the price. He goes, "Yep, let's go for it." And I said, "Are you sure? Don't you want to interview another 20?" And he said, "No, I trust you because you know what you're saying." And the rest of the people, half of them send this young looking, good looking girl, and they're trying to seduce me to do business with them. And
Yeah,
whereas I gave like real strategies because I know my stuff because I'm an expert in what I do, right?
exactly.
Uh,
And
and
that's what
and
you
that
see. You kill
just
the
applies to
price
what you're
problem
saying,
even by having the expertise. And that's
right?
amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was charging more than the rest as well. So he actually said that.
Yep. And that's how I did my
Yeah.
deal. You see, the 11 million
Mhm,
deal that I actually closed, I wasn't having a cheaper price than the rest of the market. They could have easily go to
mhm,
China, get the product at a cheaper price.
mm,
But yet, because we are in Malaysia, I was an expert in what I do because I totally go and understand the product and the industry inside out. I studied it,
mhm,
right, day and
mhm,
night until whatever
mm,
question they asked, whatever things they were having concern of, I can even settle it before they even exist.
mm,
And that is the reason why people would sometimes and most of the time would pay more to get an expert help because they
mm.
know when shit happens, you got their back, right? You know
Right.
what you're
And
doing. And when
yep.
the people is not an expert, you feel like, uh, what are they going to help me? Are they know what they're doing?
Yeah.
Are they able to even help me get out of this shithole?
Yeah.
Right? People
Yeah.
will be
Agree.
worried of that. If things happen, what it
Mhm,
doesn't work, what happens after that?
mhm.
Right?
Yep.
And the funny thing is this: if an expert says it doesn't work, like what you did, I love that. You see, if an expert says it doesn't work, right, then the other person would likely say, what can you do to make it work, right? Because they will then ask your opinion on certain things to help
Mhm.
justify the decision and wanting to
Yep.
go down that route. You see,
Yep.
and I
Yep.
love what you did. You know what? Are you sure you don't want to go shop around and everything? Go and check other
Yep.
people first, right? So you see, the moment you do that, you're pulling yourself away from the deal.
Yep. Mhm.
Who are the people that are not afraid of losing deals? The people that are not having deals, or the people who are expert?
Mm. Experts always,
Exactly.
obviously.
They are
Yep.
not afraid of losing deals because I know people
Yep.
who come to me. And that's
Yep.
so powerful in the psychological makeup of the buyer's brain. When they notice that you're an expert, right? Hey, you know what? I'm
Mhm.
trying to win your help. I'm trying to win your attention right now.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And that's what happened with
Agree.
experts.
Yeah.
And
Perfect.
wonderful. Good job. Done.
Thank you.
You got a higher price, higher deal. And you realize that when people recognize you as an expert, you are no longer playing the game where you are serving the other person. Although yes, we must be serving them, but we are a
Mhm.
peer, and more
Mhm.
likely than not, right, they will be trying to keep you, I would say, feel contented, happy that you
Mhm.
are there to help them. They're doing all they can to make sure you're doing that,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Great. So true.
Yep.